eFrameAnyWizard.com and MarketWizard.com, 22nd of January, 2019, and we're in about 15 minutes into the IB with a little update. Remember to use risk capital you can afford to lose if you're playing this game. Okay, what we're talking about right now is there are two things that we're looking at to try to help us understand what's going on at this open. First, we're looking at the RTH chart, where we can see we're ahead of ourselves with the moving averages above us, and we're also above the support line, the rain line. So that range in between there is where what I call a funnel and where we are now trading, trying to resolve. So that's the range, and we've said consider this 47, 48 area as an important support, and the 62 half gap area, 62 and a half resistance. So for now, we know that we are in that range trading. So that's our, we're defined that area first to do business. We've considered this idea of the low from yesterday. Got to get above that if you're a long, or else and that is the flipper in the predictive model. And so right now we have what we call the ORG or an RPG, a rotational pivot game. Okay, you take that open and you're looking from that open area plus or minus, and it's kind of like a go nowhere pattern as the market probes both sides fairly equidistant from that open. Right, 2 ticks off, but that's the concept. So far, the market has held yesterday's low area. So we're still testing for support. So that's the ORG, or rotational pivot game. When it happens at the open, I call it the org. We're testing the 51 angel, the 49 low of the day, and currently that 56 and a half, the middle of the angels and demons, has held. Reminder, the game is try to get a few points a day, and you can spread them out. You've got all day to do it. This is our 15-minute chart. We're still tackling the rain line, and we said let's also look at the 30. A little more power, and you can see the difference in this chart, how far we are. So we've got the funnel on the 30-minute chart with our magenta line way down here, and the blue line is trying to hold the price down for now. Pivot point 61.75, 62ish. That's our resistance for now, that half gap area. So this look is helpful. And this is our 1-day look. And again, I'm not calling for a big plunge. I like the idea of coming back a bit, but I don't like the idea of just taking off and crashing through all this and flying back down here. Reminder, those of you at that 48 area, we talked about this chart right here, 46.75 as a very important idea right now on the look from a big boy. You know, in terms of laws of proportion. It said 48 we're going to use as key idea. Those of you who played short side, got to be paid for sure by 48. Was our theoretical next support target. Still searching for support. Modest breakdown of the overnight low so far. And pre-market, we had talked about this low being an important idea from Friday. So fighting box, yellow, resistance box, green box is the next support box that we are looking at. And these traders who, especially the end of day Friday, those traders have been abandoned for now. Still inside Friday's range. Stops down if you are short. Again, we are searching for support. And I've got 44, 45 area as T1 next support. And we're hitting the rain line. Still not calling for a plunge. Anybody that comes down into that 48 area, 47, you got to be paid. And we've drawn that over here to show that idea from RTH, right? We're testing the low. This is like a double bottom test from Friday because this was Friday's RTH low. You can really see it here on this chart. A lot of time in the day. If you had played short side with that 58, 62 resistance zone, make sure you're paid. And I'm still not thinking just a one-way day. I will tell you if I'm wrong, you know that. Trying to run some stops right here, but I'm still not thinking we're going to get a big plunge today. Could be totally wrong. I like the fact, I said earlier, I like the fact that we can come back and test a little support because I think we've had this great big run and it's healthy for the market to do that. I'm still thinking by the end of the day, we've got a two-way day. And the reason why is I'm still saying that maybe 10% of the time I'll see this plunge through here, but not often because these are so much higher. And if we go back and look at something a little deeper, it will show us the 10-minute chart, show us a little bit more perspective than just that 5. You can see how far away we are from that 27. So the primary test that we had was at 75 and a quarter. Above that, we'd said that 79 on a 2-year, 80 idea. We'd said this line right here, we're really in this box right now on the 2-year, and that was the top. And I said that And this would really be my next resistance at 80. So it's nice to see a pullback already today, indicating that the boys think better odds coming short side than long. Why not? Look what we've done for the year. So in terms of the yearly perspective and the monthly, that's what I'm trying to show you right here. This is an area of concern, but it's, compared to the length of this swing, immaterial. You've got to start to come down and undo this 17 and put pressure and come back into the 25s. And that's going to take time. So when we talked pre-market, we'd said this was a key support, and make sure coming in you understand that idea. And this is why the charts are so helpful to see your numerical ideas come to life and say, oh, okay, that bar, that doji bar is pullback. So when 52s get beat, kind of opens the door to come down to this territory. And you can see if you're looking at this 15-minute chart, doji, white bar, white bar, white bar, white bar, white, doji, white, white, doji. Then we had that pullback, right? Back to here. This was our idea. You got to get through this first, that 62 area. And when that breaks, it opens the door to the next low, theoretically. So this is a system that allows you to see specific bars, specific traders, and when they got caught. And these traders here, all these traders that were shorting here, they got caught and squeezed, but now we're coming back in a retest, tested for support. And so our next theoretical area right below it, and then the biggie down in here, right? Which is going to be back in the 30s, and we've got a gap down there. So this is a perfect open and a perfect, I think we're still going long, and no, we're not. We're searching for support. So these traders have been abandoned, and this clearly shows the area of support I'm looking at, the neutral zone where we're fighting, and then the resistance box, just based on last week's range. And I felt today we needed to look at a little bit bigger look, since yesterday was a holiday type day, but we wanted to really get a look at the range from from Friday. So that's an important area. And that's what we've got to contend with. So anybody who shorted the lows and got something, I guess the point I'm making is be conservative about your expectations. Kind of what I'm suggesting. We may get lower, but it's probably going to take more time. And the gap is just below this demon over here from last week. So I don't like to see too many gaps in a row. I know it happens and happened a lot the last few years, but you start to say, wait a minute. We've come a long way. We've got island gaps, whatever. And the market really is an equal opportunity employer. It traps both sides. So for now, these traders, especially those above the 62 area up in here, all these traders, the end of the day on Friday, those traders are underwater if they're in a position or a swing trade. And that's the beauty of day trading. You can come back in after a weekend and say, okay, let me at them. Where are we? What are we doing? Brian, thank you. Um, yeah, Zeke and I have talked about that a little bit lately, how we think the real estate market is going softer. And a number of reasons probably for that. But a lot of these numbers sometimes are manipulated too. So I don't give them a lot of credibility. Government kind of, puts things out there that they want you to think. Price action is pure. Well, once you learn how to read charts and say, okay, that bar is resistance. Remember we said this 58 to 56. I said first, the 58. And they said, no, wait a minute. We got to look at that 56 because that was the prior day's low. And you can see how that's capped us so far. So we're exploring Friday's range, really, is what we're doing. And I said it'd be a little wonky because a lot of traders will forget. A few cobwebs up there after a couple of margaritas or whatever you had watching ball games. We're still in IB. I've had a relatively neutral bias today. I like the short side, but I'm saying it's suspect that we're going to get a plunge. And that reason I've said is because we're coming down to our rain line. Anybody that's played for 44 and a half, I said that's our next theoretical target, 44 and a half. Hit right there. Stops down. All you can do is trail right now if you're in the short side. And we are in the territory Friday that has been unauctioned in RTH. $40.5 next theoretical target. We are looking at a Globex range, which is going to show us a little more detail about Friday's range. 40.5 next. Key support zone right here. We said we would flip to the 30-minute chart if we busted the 15, and that's what we've got because we know we're over and under that 15-minute chart. And this a little bit bigger chart gives us a little bit more view. S1, S2 have been a hit. So we said we're using 62 resistance. Anybody that comes into that 40.5 range, 42s, retesting the metal, the courage of these traders who had on Friday had their way with the shorts. This is still a range type trade. We are testing for support. And based on last week's range, Biggie back down in here, this 37 area. That's got to be considered support right now. And I say take profits. for sure, 42 to 40 on this swing. And I'll adjust that in just a minute. RPG, shorts win the first battle, taking out the overnight low, and then obviously the second sweep. Today's range leaves the middle back here from the open. That's a symmetry trade, correct? Make sure you're paid by 42 to 40.